My next guest, Charles Marino, former Homeland Security advisor. He was on the Hill today testifying at a hearing titled Examining the Threats to ICE, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. He's, of course, the author of the book Terrorists on the Border and in Our Country. Charles, hello. Nice to see you in person.
Blake.
When I saw Charles, I was like, it's good to know you actually exist and there's not an AI version of you out there when we talk to you every day.
That's right.
So you were up on the Hill for this for this hearing about this incident in New Jersey. Tell me about it.
Yeah, well, look, there's a way to go about congressional oversight, and this was not it. This was an ambush that was carried out by the mayor of Newark and the congresswoman. And she is now being held accountable by being charged federally for assaulting federal agents in the process. The theme of the hearing was the influence of politics and how it is endangering not just ICE, because let's keep in mind, there are federal law enforcement agencies throughout government participating and working alongside ICE. So it's endangering these agents in the process of their daily jobs.
Why do you use the word ambush? That seems fairly strong, and some might take issue with that.
Well, I can tell you, in almost 30 years in the government, I can tell you the way congressional oversight is usually carried out, and that is working in close coordination with the congressional affairs offices of the agencies that you want to work with. That was not done here. This was a congresswoman and a mayor showing up alongside protesters simultaneously and attempting to breach the outer perimeter of this detention center, a detention center that's housing very dangerous illegal immigrants in the country, committing additional crimes against Americans.
So she said today, quote, at the end of the day, the reason we were there is to make sure the facility was up to par, clean and safe, and the detainees were given due process. Any issue with that?
Yeah, a lot of issue, because I don't think that was their priority to check on the condition of the detention center and the treatment of those
they were there to get the cameras?
Absolutely.
And all that?
This was a political ambush, and I can tell you that also there's just ways to go about conducting your business, and I think you saw some agreement during my testimony today about that.
So one of the things that you found most interesting today, you told me, was, again, Charles Marino, who was a witness at this hearing just a little while ago up on the Hill, was this moment from one of the top Democrats. I want to play it, and we'll talk about it other side.
I will say that the Republicans were right. Democrats lost on immigration. When you look at all the polling, when you talk to people, they lost on immigration.
That, of course, is Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Why did that stand out to you? Of all the things when you were up there and getting questions and giving answers, why was that the moment?
Yeah, I'll tell you, because we're starting to see a recognition by Democrats that this issue cost them the election. What's still troubling is that Republicans point to this immigration crisis and what it does to our national security, and that the Biden administration was really the anomaly when it abandoned enforcing the federal immigration laws and open borders. And what I can tell you is the Democrats are focused on this solely from a political standpoint. They are still not acknowledging the very dangerous criminal and national security threats that were allowed to come into the country.
But
we're halfway there.
Trump's numbers on immigration, though, are coming down. So I guess there's the question if he's going about it the wrong way as well.
Well, look, he's using existing laws on the books. He's engaging diplomatically with countries along the path of migration. We see that with Mexico, Canada, and others down in the Northern Triangle. We are giving some rewards to countries who are becoming part of the solution as opposed to being part of the problem, which they were the previous 4 years. And we're seeing strong domestic measures. Look, he got elected on this issue. He's the head of the executive branch. The executive branch enforces the laws of this country, and that's exactly what the Trump administration is doing.
Do we have another soundbite from Marco Rubio earlier today, Mark? We don't, but we played it off the top. Marco Rubio and Chris Van Hollen going at it back and forth. What do you think, what was behind that? It seemed to me like Rubio got out of it what Rubio wanted to get out of it, and Van Hollen got out of it what Van Hollen wanted to get out of it. From your perch, as someone who testified in a different hearing today, but sort of on a similar topic, what's from your lens, what do you make of that moment?
I think Rubio got more out of it. out of that exchange, because he was able to highlight the very dangerous people that have made their way into the country. And then he was able to point out to the congressman, is this the hill that Democrats want to die on? By defending these very dangerous people that already violated the immigration laws of this country and are continuing to violate the law and kill and harm American citizens. So I think he came out of it with the advantage.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.